In 1884, something almost unbelievable happened. Jamaica nearly joined Canada. Yes, that Canada. Snowy winters, maple syrup, and A at the end of every sentence. And guess what? Britain didn't say no. In fact, the British colonial secretary was ready to give the green light. But Jamaica said no. Hard number. Just one vote in support. 8 votes against. Let that sink in. Our little island had a chance to become part of one of the wealthiest, most stable countries in the world, and walked away. Why? That's what we're diving into. But we'll also look at what's happening today. Because the truth is, Jamaica is still trying to cut ties, only this time, not with Canada, but with the British monarchy. And just like in 1884, the effort is stuck, stalled, going nowhere, at least for now. Back then, things were rough. The sugar industry was falling apart. There were barely any jobs. Plantation owners were losing money fast. Political frustrations were boiling over. Some Jamaicans, especially the big landowners, were desperate for a way out. And some were even whispering about joining the United States. That's how bad it got. Meanwhile, Canada was thinking big. Canada saw an opportunity. A tropical province, access to Caribbean ports, a whole new trade route. Prime Minister Sir John Macdonald was interested. He even went to London to talk about it. The British colonial secretary basically said, "Sure, if Jamaica agrees, we're fine with it." For Canada, it was a strategy. For Jamaica, it was survival. But when the decision came, Jamaica's Legislative Council voted 8-1 against joining. That's not just rejection, that's a full stop. And here's where it gets interesting. The people who said no weren't thinking like poor people. They were thinking like power brokers, plantation owners, elite politicians, people with control. They were worried about losing that control, about having to answer to Ottawa instead of Kingston, about being swallowed up in a faraway system they didn't fully understand or trust. Some say race played a part too. A mostly black island becoming part of a mostly white nation in the 1880s, that would have raised a lot of unspoken questions. And there were legal roadblocks. Canada's constitution at the time didn't allow for adding far-off islands. Plus, Canadians weren't exactly lining up to take on the financial costs. Defense, shipping, administration, too expensive, too complicated. So, the door closed. And that was that. But history has a funny way of repeating itself. Fast forward to today, and Jamaica is still wrestling with a big constitutional question. This time about the monarchy. Why, in 2025, does King Charles III still sit as Jamaica's head of state? Jamaica has been independent since 1962, but we still have a foreign monarch in our parliament ceremonies, in our constitution. And we've tried, really tried, to change that. Both major political parties, the JLP and the PNP, agree that Jamaica should become a republic. They agree in principle. But when it comes to action, we're stuck. Again. The current government wants to take things in steps. First, remove the monarch. Later, decide whether to replace the UK's Privy Council with the Caribbean Court of Justice. The opposition says, no way. It's all or nothing. They want everything, full decolonization, done at once. So now, nothing is happening. And here's the sad part. The public? Many people don't even know what's going on. Polls show that a lot of Jamaicans are undecided. Some don't care. Some are tired. Some just want jobs, lower food prices, and safety in their communities. That's the new struggle. The battle for independence isn't about sugar anymore. It's about identity, about pride, about finally owning who we are. But just like in 1884, We're stuck, not because the outside world said no, but because our own house is divided. We need a referendum to become a republic, a national vote. And if the people don't come out strong, if the political fighting turns people off, we could lose that vote. And the monarchy stays. It's déjà vu. Then it was Canada. Now it's King Charles. So, let's pause. Let's go deeper. Why do we keep running into this wall? In 1884, we said no to joining Canada because we didn't want to give up control to a distant government. Today, we're saying yes to a republic. But we can't agree on how to do it. Both times, the real fight wasn't outside. It was inside. This is more than history. It's a pattern. When unity is missing, progress gets blocked. Now let's stir the pot a bit more with 4 bonus facts. Bonus fact 1. Canada didn't just want Jamaica. Over the years, they looked at Turks and Caicos, Belize, even Bermuda. The idea of a tropical Canada was real. Bonus fact 2. The failure of the Jamaica-Canada Union may have planted seeds of distrust that later helped sink the West Indies Federation in 1962. Jamaica left first, again choosing independence over union. Bonus fact 3. Barbados made the leap. In 2021, they ditched the Queen and became a republic. No national referendum, just political will. Bonus fact 4. Despite progress, new bills, committee reports, and strong speeches, Jamaica's path to a republic is only halfway done. The clock is ticking, and the 2025 election is looming. So, where do we go from here? We say we want sovereignty. We say we want to cut ties with the past. But are we willing to work together to do it? In 1884, we walked away from becoming part of a global powerhouse, Canada. Maybe that was the right choice. Maybe not. Today, we're walking slowly, maybe too slowly, toward full nationhood. Toward finally saying, we govern ourselves fully. But here's the real question. What's stopping us this time? Because it's not Canada, and it's not Britain. It's us. If you haven't already done so, please like this video and subscribe to our Impacting Jamaica channel today.